Alright, so this Castorice situation has somehow managed to get even worse, because it's not even just about her anymore. Apparently, there's an entire group of characters intending to be released in Honkai Star Rail with passive abilities that can only be described as cash grabby, predatory practice. What they're essentially trying to do is create an actual must-pull character, not just one, a series of must-pull characters, which they've never actually done before. Sure, they've released characters like Acheron, with Robin, Ron May, Fei Xiao. They're these characters that you don't technically actually need to beat endgame content. It just makes it more comfortable and easier because of how strong they are, but they're not technically needed. These new characters they're trying to release will have passive abilities that are active even when the character isn't even on your team that you are using, and apparently they're supposed to work in endgame content. Now, this needs to be prefaced, so take this with a grain of salt. These are just rumors, technically, but bro, Castorice is currently in the beta right now. It's the first version of the beta, but dude, okay, Tribby drops today. By the time you guys see this video, Tribby's probably already out. 3.1's already active, and Castorice is releasing in 3.2. They have, 6 weeks to take this out of the game or not. It is very, very, very likely that Castorice will release with one of these passive abilities that will essentially revive a downed character if they die in endgame content. That is the most must-pull, predatory, screwed-up thing that I can think of that Hoyoverse has ever done. Now, apparently, they've done this before in Honkai Impact 3rd with what's called Divine Keys. They're these, weapons I think you can get in the game that you don't even have to have on your characters that are, in the content, and they give you these passive stats or passive abilities that are just always there all of the time. And that's goofed up. I didn't even know they had that in Honkai Impact. For some reason, I just didn't know that, even though I've played the game. But Honkai Star Rail is not technically Honkai Impact, right? This is supposed to be an improvement upon previous iterations of their games. And Honkai Star Rail is already in a bad state, so seeing this is just really, really screwed up. Now, I don't normally cover this type of stuff on my channel. This is not what I'm about, you know what I mean? But there are rare exceptions like this where I think something needs to be said. And the reason why I don't like covering rumors, for example, one of the reasons is because a lot of them just never even come true. Especially in Genshin and Honkai Star Rail lately, in the last few months or so, there's been so many rumors that have surfaced that none of them ever had any solid ground to stand on, and so many of them just never ended up happening, and they were just completely wrong. Some people are even releasing fake information in order to get more clicks on their social medias, etc., knowing that it's fake and knowing that it's never going to happen, really, really messing with players, and sometimes causing them to pull characters, etc., based on that information, and it ends up not ever happening. And it's really, really dangerous to talk about this stuff if you're not for sure about it, which is why I want you guys to take this information with a grain of salt. But if we make our voices known, if we go on to the Hoyoverse's social medias, if the CN players especially, if China make a fuss about this, something actually could get done. Because I'm going to be honest here, Hoyoverse does not usually care about global players' opinions. They care mostly about their home base, about the Chinese players' opinions. And if China is actually upset about this, and if they actually try to get something done, something might actually happen. Like what happened in 3.0. Players were fed up with, 2.6, then 2.7, then 3.0. It just has not been their best work. And players made their voices known, and they quickly, during the 3.0 patch, released some patch notes and told us, some dev notes, and told us that by 3.2, they're going to be making some big changes, and they want to improve the game, and they've heard us, and they're going to be making some changes. So if we can do this again, maybe we can get something done. Because even if Castorice is supposed to be the first of, several that release with a passive ability, and she does release in the game with that ability, if there's enough outcry, I think we could probably get them to not release the other passive abilities, right? So Castorice may end up releasing with this, but if it's only this one character, I don't think it will be, well, it simply won't be as bad as having like 4, for example, different characters with these passive abilities, like bonus attack stats that are just always there, you know, more speed and more HP, more energy regeneration. Like, that's the type of stuff I've been hearing lately. And again, it's just rumors, so take that with a grain of salt, but Castorice has an ability that revives a downed character, and that's still in her kit, and beta just went live like a couple of days ago. And that's there, right? Unless that gets removed from the character, that's going live in 6 weeks. If that's the type of stuff they want to put into the game, though, as a passive ability that's static on your entire account, rather than you have to have the character on the field, that's the most powerful thing they've ever released in the game if they do that. And that makes those characters pretty much a must-pull. And if you don't have them on your account, you don't have those stats. And they're going to be releasing endgame content thinking that everybody's pulling those characters. Think about this for a second. If Castorice has the ability to potentially revive a downed character, they're going to probably put an enemy in Memory of Chaos that just one-shots one of your characters, so that you are forced to essentially pull this character. Now, they might not necessarily do that, but dude, let's be honest here. Look at the state of Memory of Chaos lately. You really think that's not on the table for them? You really think they don't have that idea in their head, that they're not thinking about potentially doing that, knowing that many players are going to be pulling Castorice, and that if you have this passive ability, it will just completely negate that mechanic from that Memory of Chaos boss? Bro, that's the type of stuff they've done in the recent Memory of Chaos. They made this recent Memory of Chaos basically the Aglaia boss room. Rather than Memory of Chaos 12, it should just be called Aglaia Speedrun. Like, it should be. And if they do this same type of predatory thing with Castorice, that's the type of thing you would see, is them making that mechanic mean something in that Memory of Chaos domain. You know, it's actually wild that they heard players' outcries recently, and they promised that they're going to be making improvements and changes and buffing old characters, but if this is what they meant by buffing old characters, that they're actually just going to release a new character that just so happens to give your entire account like a plus, I don't know, some percentage attack buff, that's not what we were asking for at all, dude. So I don't know what they're thinking. This is the exact opposite of what we wanted. We wanted you guys to improve the game, not make the game worse, right? You create a problem and then you sell the solution. Like that's the type of thing they're doing right now. And we know they sort of do that pretty much all the time, but it's usually not that bad. You can usually just steamroll or power through these little stupid problems they introduce into the game with good gameplay and like powerful relics and just game awareness, right? Like, people still don't understand how to fight the Nikador boss, even though it's the most simple game mechanics, but people don't read anymore because you can just power through stuff a lot of the time, right? But this isn't one of those situations you can just power through. If they release a one-shot mechanic to make Castorice's passive ability matter, you're kind of just fucked. And I've heard that 3 other characters are supposed to also release with passive abilities, but again, it's just rumors, and that's pretty far down the line, right? So they could intend for other characters to also have it. Not just 4, potentially more. We don't 100% know everything that's going on, which is why it's very, very important to make your voices heard right now so that we can just shut this down before it even happens. This is a problem, right? And CN players, we really need you guys on this one, man. I know some of you guys watch me. I know you guys watch a lot of people. You know, I'm just a small drop of water in the larger ocean that is the gacha community. But we all need to bandwagon on this thing, okay? We all need to get together and try to do something about this, because this isn't good for the game state. Regardless of who you are, regardless of how elitist you want to be, regardless of how much you like Castorice, and you may want this ability because maybe you're a, light spender or free-to-play player or somebody that could use a revive, just try to think about what this means. This would not help your account long-term. You're gonna pull a character like Castorice with an ability like this, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's so cool. Thank God she has a revive. That's great. And then you're gonna realize after a couple of months, when they do it again and again and again with more and more characters, you're gonna come to realize, oh, this actually wasn't good. It was never good. They just make it seem like it's a good thing on initial release, and then long term you realize that mechanic is terrible for the game state. Okay, so everybody's voice matters in this situation. So get out there, do your thing, get on social media, get on Twitter, get on Reddit, get on the forums. You know, CN, we really need you on this one, buddy. We need everybody on this one because we're at a crossroads right now. Okay, like Hoyoverse we're at a fork in the road, right? And we're looking to the right down a nice, cool, fun road with some nice turns and a nice beachside view. Hoyoverse is looking to the left down this dark, gloomy, messed up road that doesn't even look like a car could even really fit on it properly. It looks like it's just going to go right off a cliff. And we're trying to get them to go back the other way down the nicer road that we can all enjoy. And that's the goal I think we should all be trying to reach for and accomplish here, because they're already looking down that road. Castorice has this ability in her kit, and she's in beta right now. If they don't literally remove it from her, it's going live in 6 weeks. Okay, and you're going to start seeing people leaving the game if this is the type of stuff that they want to do. It might not happen right away, but this is the start of bad things to come if this is the road that they want to go down. And you might see people that like to stand on business leaving the game, right? You're going to see folks like, I don't want to stick around for this if they're going to do this long term, right? Am I going to leave right away? I might give them a chance, but I don't know if I'm going to stick around for this long term if this is what they want to do. Right, you're going to see folks probably like Gacha Smack likes to stand on business. I don't think he's going to enjoy something like this. You're going to see folks like Tectone not really wanting to stand for this either. You know, people that are honest with their viewers, they don't want to stick around for this type of thing, bro. They don't. You know, they'll dip. You know, I'm just glad I started branching out and covering other games like Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero, even though Zenless Zone Zero is also a Hoyoverse game, but you get the point here, you know? You know, people can move on to other things, and they will, you know, and a lot of people have already quit the game based on how things went in 2.6, 2.7, 3.0. Things aren't looking good right now, and we want them to improve the game, not make it worse, and they're just planning to make it worse, it seems like. So hopefully they can turn this ship around, because if they don't, you're going to see a lot of people dip, man. Anyways, you like this kind of stuff? Consider leaving a like and subscribe. Make your voices heard out there, guys. Leave some comments so we can talk about this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.